Hey, welcome back, guys. Matt here from myrawintuition.com, back with the long-awaited vitamin D video that you guys have been waiting for. So I want to talk to you guys about vitamin D. I also want to talk about, just some healthy practices for the summertime with being in the sun and how all that goes, But I want to just first start off with telling you that, on this topic, there's a lot of varying opinions and there's a lot of research, saying multiple things. So I'm not, saying this is what you should necessarily believe. This is just what I have come to a conclusion with based on my research, based on my experience. And so these are the things that I believe, but I strongly suggest that you do your research and you make your own determination about vitamin D and about how to healthfully be in the sunlight during the summertime. All right, so let's start off with vitamin D. I want to talk to you about some things that I personally believe that we should avoid doing because they can inhibit our body's ability to create and utilize the vitamin D that we naturally create. All right. So the first thing, which is super controversial because there's so much marketing, so many commercials out there, so many, organizations that push this message, and that is to wear sunscreen. Now, if you've ever looked at the chemical makeup of sunscreen, go look at the ingredients list. It's a bunch of just ridiculous things that I personally do not want absorbing into my skin and getting into my bloodstream. So I don't believe sunscreen is... All right, sorry about that. My phone ran out of space, so I deleted some things. And now let's get back into it. Sunscreen. I do not personally believe that sunscreen is a healthy product to use. Many of the chemicals in a variety of sunscreens are carcinogenic on their own, and the idea that we need to put something on us to disarm the alarm system in our bodies, which is tender skin, when we've been in the sun for too long, when we've created all the vitamin D that our body is going to create, it will start to get tender to let you know that you've been in the sun too long and you need to go find some shade, or you need to put on some clothing, or, get indoors. With sunscreen, we're able to put something on that lets us stay in the sun longer than we naturally should. And so you just turn off that alarm system of your body. You don't prevent those UV rays from going into your skin cells. And so you're getting overly exposed to those UV rays just without having the alarm system of that tender skin. And so there is no proof that sunscreen prevents skin cancer or anything like that. So that seems to be the message that a lot of organizations push. Simply not the case. There is research, however, showing that many of the chemicals in sunscreen are carcinogenic. So, you got to do what you think is right. If you truly believe that putting on some man-made product onto your skin, your largest organ in your body that absorbs chemicals that you put onto it, well, that's your choice. I personally don't believe that sunscreen is a smart thing to use. I use, my own body's natural mechanisms to let me know if I've been in the sun for too long. And so that is what I do. When you put on sunscreen, you also inhibit your body's ability to create vitamin D. And so if you're concerned about your vitamin D levels and you're putting on sunscreen, you're only inhibiting your body's ability to raise your vitamin D levels. Also, things, just any lotions, any chemical creams that you're putting onto your skin, that inhibits, that gets in between the sun and your skin. It causes, it blocks some of, those rays that the body recognizes, because this is our natural environment. The sun is part of our natural environment. So when you put something on your body that blocks part of the sun, then, the body isn't going to respond as it naturally would. And so doing that inhibits our body's ability to create vitamin D. And also things like showering within 24 hours of having vitamin D created. Supposedly the chlorine and the other chemicals in the water that we shower in can wash off the vitamin D that our body created earlier that day or the day before. So if you really want to increase your vitamin D levels, think about not showering every single day. I shower once or twice a week, and I have a filter on my shower that takes out the chlorine, hopefully takes out the fluoride, and hopefully takes out a lot of the other chemicals. But that is one thing to consider, is, are you showering in chemicals every single day? And are you, kind of washing off a lot of what your body worked to create in order to keep you healthy? That's one thing that I don't stink really usually, so I don't need to shower every single day, even when I work out. And that is the beauty of filling your body with hydrating, antioxidant-rich, fresh, raw fruits and vegetables, as opposed to cooked, animal products and other processed foods, trans fats, rancid oils, all these things, excess proteins that clog up our kidneys, that coagulate the blood, that oxidize and create free radicals, and, all those things that create stench that comes out of all the holes and pores of our body. So that is another great benefit to living this lifestyle, eating this way, this diet. It's just such a refreshing and, preserving way of keeping your body fresh. It's beautiful. So the water that we are bathing in has an impact. The lotions and the sunscreens, those have an impact on our vitamin D. So those are the things that I would avoid, and those are the things that I do avoid. Also, drinking alcohol. If you drink alcohol, Dr. Greger put out a video on nutritionfacts.org about how people that drink alcohol, they burn in the sun twice as fast.
Well, a study of 300,000 Americans found that excessive drinking was associated with higher rates of sunburn. It may be that heavy and binge drinking are markers for an underlying willingness to disregard health risks and pass out on the beach, but maybe it's because breakdown products of alcohol in the body generate such massive numbers of free radicals that they eat up the antioxidants that protect our skin from the sun. Plants produce their own built-in protection against the oxidative damage of the sun, and we can expropriate these built-in protectors by eating those plants to function as cell protectors within our own body. But it works both ways. Alcohol consumption decreases the protection within our skin. If you have people drink about 3 shots of vodka within 8 minutes, not 10 weeks, 8 minutes, the level of carotenoid antioxidants in their skin drops dramatically. That's how fast it can work. If, however, you drink the same amount of vodka in orange juice, there's still a drop in skin antioxidants compared to the initial value, but drinking a screwdriver is not as bad as drinking vodka straight. Now, but is the difference enough to make a difference out in the sun, though? After the drinks, they exposed the volunteers to a UV lamp and waited to see how long it would take them to burn. And the time span until they started turning red was significantly shorter after alcohol consumption than in the experiments where either no alcohol was consumed or alcohol was consumed in combination with orange juice. That's like an extra half hour out in the sun, based solely on what you put in your mouth before heading to the beach.
So again, when you put in these acidifying and toxic substances like alcohol into your body is going to naturally respond. Nothing is done in a vacuum. Everything is going to have a consequence. And when you're out in the sun and you're drinking alcohol dehydrates you. It does all these things that are so, hydration, I'm going to get into this as well. Hydration is so key to having healthy skin and to being able to be in the sun with healthy consequences. You have to have hydrated cells, hydrated skin. And so fresh fruits and vegetables are going to hydrate your body and keep you healthy when you're in the sunlight. So think about that. I don't drink alcohol anymore. Haven't for 7 or so years, and I love it. So I would avoid alcohol because that can impact, how much we can be in the sun. Sunglasses. You don't want to be wearing sunglasses because your eyes take in all the full spectrum of light, right? We want to get all those UV rays, all the different spectrums of the light. And when we don't do that, our body is somewhat fooled into believing we are not in the sunlight. When we're in the sunlight and we're taking in all the rays, our body creates different hormones and chemicals that helps our skin when it's in the sun. So it prepares the skin to be in the sun as it's taking in, these are our little sensors. So they're taking in those, it's taking in all the information from its environment, and it's creating chemicals and hormones that are going to allow it to be in that environment as optimally as possible. You put on those sunglasses, and your body all of a sudden thinks that you are not in the sun. So it's not creating those protective chemicals that would be, dispersed throughout your body and throughout your skin to help it healthfully be in the sun. So I would never wear sunglasses in the sun, very rare occasions, because I do believe that it is damaging to our body when we are in the sunlight. Again, the trans fats, animal fats, we want to stay away from. No trans fats or animal fats in my body because those rancidify, they oxidize, and they create free radicals that do not work well in those UV rays. That's where you get, skin cancers and inflammation, wrinkles, early aging. All those things are increased. The risk increases when you're in the sunlight with cells that are built with those materials. So I stay away from all animal products, for several reasons, but this is one of them. Trans fats that you get from processed foods and animal products. Those are all things that I would stay away from to give my body the best chance at creating optimal vitamin D levels and just staying healthy in the natural sunlight. So again, what do? I eat fresh, raw fruits and vegetables to hydrate my body, to make my cells hydrated, to, allow that. Hydration not only is beneficial for, proper disbursement of, all the different chemicals our body's creating, but also it reduces inflammation, and it just allows for removal of waste. And, it's important for every system in our body, including the lymphatic system, including having healthy blood, and all that is essential for cleaning up any toxins and preventing inflammation and keeping our cells, healthy and fluid. So hydration is so key. Drink your water, but get in those fresh, antioxidant-rich, alkalized, structured fluids from those fresh fruits and vegetables. Eat plenty of pigments. is what I do. I try to eat as many pigmented foods as possible. The pigments are the colors within the food. So the red, orange, yellow, green, purple, all the different colors that I can get in my diet is what I want to help protect my skin and allow it to be as healthy as possible in the sunlight. Plants produce these pigments a lot of times to help themselves when they're in the sun, and that helps to protect them from damage from the sunlight. So we take in those plants, we get in those phytochemicals and those antioxidants, and our body is able to utilize those in the same way. So it helps to protect us from sunburn. It helps to increase our level of beneficial hormones, and it just makes everything work better within our body. Our glands and our organs function much better when they have those beneficial chemicals, phytochemicals from the plants. All right, so hydrate, eat plenty of pigmented foods, get in all the colors of the rainbow. And I also like to skin brush to help to clean off, get off all those dead cells, because our skin is always regenerating. So we want to, we're not living natural lives where we're out in nature, going through brush and, moving our body all the time. We're sitting at desks, we're indoors, we're not sweating, all these things that prevent us from really having as healthy of bodies as we want. So I like to skin brush, get off all the dead cells, and allow the new cells to breathe, to, let the lymphatic system cleanse through my skin, to let just my whole body function better, I feel, when I have cleaned off the dead cells. And I feel like, the dead cells can be acidic, so they can trap in acids. And so getting those off of my skin, I feel like helps my body to function better, to interact with the sunlight in a better way, and just to keep me healthy and looking my best, as much as I can. So skin brush, pigmented foods, and hydration. Those are 3 things that I think are important to having healthy sun exposure, healthy skin, and optimal vitamin D levels. Let's see. Again, when it comes to sun exposure, it's going to depend on your ethnicity, your race. Darker skinned people don't generate vitamin D. They don't absorb the sunlight as quickly as fair-skinned people. So, again, your body is going to tell you with the tenderness, you'll feel when you've been in the sun too long. And unless you're using things like sunscreens and all that other crap that prevents our natural systems from letting us know what's going on. So just be smart about being in the sun and, do what you think is best. For me, my vitamin D level was at, again, I can't remember if I mentioned this already. I think I was right around 40. And so that's within the range. It's a little towards the lower end. And so I'm doing a couple extra things now. Well, one extra thing to just experiment. And again, you gotta do what you think is right for you. I'm just experimenting with tanning beds. I'm tanning a couple times a week. And so I'm seeing if that will raise it, because, I'm in Minnesota. We don't get a lot of sunlight, especially during the winter months. We do in the summer, but, the winter is like 6 or 7 months, it feels like. So I'm just seeing if potentially, because I've read that in other countries, doctors will prescribe tanning beds to help bring up vitamin D levels for their patients. So I'm just giving it a try. But all the other things that I've already mentioned have kept me in the range of what they say is healthy. Now, that range is another thing that I do believe is inflated due to industry pressures and other scenarios that I think that the range that they recommend is potentially higher than what we really need. I'm not really too worried about my levels being towards the lower end of the range at this point. I don't have any symptoms of vitamin D deficiency. You know, my immune system is good. I haven't been sick in like 7 years since I've been eating a raw vegan diet. I haven't been sick. I used to get sick all the time, and now I never get sick. So your immune system is if you have a poor immune system, you know, you potentially, you know, among other things, you may have low vitamin D. Bone strength, my bones are very strong. You know, so I really don't, I don't have too many, you know, indications or any indications that I have low vitamin D. I got my blood test, my calcium levels were good in my blood anyways. So, you know, my calcium utilization or my calcium absorption is good. Again, I have strong bones, so my utilization is likely very good too. And I have no like muscle growth issues. I don't have pain in my muscles or, you know, trouble building muscle. So I think my vitamin D levels are doing just fine. But again, I am going to try and optimize them with tanning beds just as an experiment. But everything else has, you know, from my best judgment, is helping me to have necessary vitamin D levels, and everything else, all my body is functioning just great. So I think my vitamin D levels are fine. Those are some of the tips that I have to help you guys if you're, you know, doing research on this topic. Hopefully this can give you just another perspective, and I hope it was helpful. Hope I didn't forget anything. You know, that's kind of a ramble, but rant. But yeah, I'll let you guys give me some feedback. If you have any questions, let me know. And until next time, always follow your raw intuition.
Detoxify your mind and body. Be the change you want to see. Small steps towards living better. Small steps to where I want to be.